Hello, very good morning and welcome to Athavan newspaper highlights. Today is Sunday, 22nd of May 2016. This is Edward Udedas Devasagayam Pillai with the highlights of today's English newspapers. As usual, we have three leading newspapers of Sri Lanka for the highlights: Sunday Times, Sunday Observer and Sunday Leader. Firstly, let's have a look on the Sunday Times. The main headline of the Sunday Times says, as floods cause havoc, monsoon from tomorrow. Death toll 73, missing 127, houses damaged 4,158, number of people affected 427,918. During the past 27 years, Sri Lanka has not seen such flood havoc as we see today, with hundreds of thousands of people displaced and the death toll rising from landslides as flood waters rage in about 19 districts. Colombo and Gambaha districts were among the worst affected, as seen in this picture, where desperate people are looking for signs of hope from the rooftops of their flood-hit houses. The havoc caused by rains, floods and landslides pushed the death toll to 73 last night, with 127 people reported missing, the Disaster Management Center said. However, police and rescue workers said that the figures would be much higher as search and rescue operations in affected areas continued. Among the developments last evening was evacuation of residents in plantation areas in the Nuwara and Kandy districts where fears of landslides were high. Police said residents in areas vulnerable to landslides were being brought to safe locations. Fears of heavy rains again caused concerns for rescue workers, most of them security forces and police personnel last night. A task force of security forces personnel and those from the Civil Security Division will launch operations in the coming days to resettle the displaced people, Disaster Management Ministry Secretary S.S. Niyanwala said. Another highlight says, Jayanthi makes history on Everest peak. Women's rights activist Jayanthi Kuru Utumpala made history as the first Sri Lankan to reach the world's highest peak of Mount Everest at an awesome 29,029 feet yesterday, the International Mountain Guides website confirmed. She had left Camp 4, one of the base camps in the mountain, around 9 p.m. on Friday with her fellow Sri Lankan and climbing partner Johan Pires. Secondly, let's move to Sunday Observer. The main headline of the Sunday Observer says, Kalani water to recede in 4 days. The Irrigation Department yesterday predicted that water levels of the Kalani River are expected to return to normal in 4 days, bringing a sense of relief to hundreds of thousands of flood-affected victims from the longest flood situation the country had experienced in decades. According to the Disaster Management Center, the extreme weather that prevailed for the past 1 week left 375,604 people of 93,099 families affected across the country. 71 deaths were reported and 127 people were reported missing. Another highlight says, bad land use in Aranayaka led to landslides. Excessive clearing of forest and cultivation practices have contributed to making Aranayaka and 3 hillside villages extremely vulnerable to landslides, an expert on landslides told the Sunday Observer. Director, Landslide Research and Risk Management Division R.M. Senarath Bandara said, poor land use is a serious contributor to landslides, though often overlooked. Another highlight says, government prepares recovery plan. Storm costs nation $2 billion. The government is now assessing the economic damage arising from the last week's storm disaster, and steps are being taken to ensure that citizens and enterprises incurring losses will be facilitated in their recovery, Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake told the Sunday Observer last night. He said Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe had asked for a full assessment of the cost of the disaster and the action needed for recovery so that the economy could overcome the shock of the disaster. In addition to the human toll, the country is estimated to have suffered a massive cost amounting to nearly $2 billion from last week's storm disaster, the finance minister said. Finally, let's move to Sunday Leader. The main headline of the Sunday Leader says, Sampur coal project continues despite Modi-Sirisena talks. India's state-run National Thermal Power Corporation Limited has not decided to cancel or convert the proposed coal-fired 500 megawatts power plant in Sampur, Trincomalee into a liquid natural gas plant, a top official said. Trincomalee Power Company Limited Managing Director Praveen Saxena told the Sunday Leader that they have not received any instructions to suspend the coal power project, and so they are continuing with the project. Energy experts said that the plant was designed for coal well considering the location and availability of ships when it comes to LNG that could be done in Colombo or Galle. Trincomalee is not suitable for LNG, a former Ceylon Electricity Board official said. Another highlight says Sri Lanka losing $50 million annually. The Minister of Fisheries, Mahinda Amaraveera, told the Sunday Leader that due to the illegal Indian fishermen entering Sri Lanka's territorial waters and fishing illegally, the loss to Sri Lanka is around $60 million annually. He said that President Maithripala Sirisena had raised this issue with the Indian Prime Minister during his visit to India last week, and the Indian government had said that they had absolutely no involvement in this issue and this illegal fishing is being done by the Tamil Nadu fishermen. With that, let's come to an end of today's paper highlights. We will come with more news tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening to other newspaper highlights.